We are the painters of our world. We are creators. We decide what goes.
Welcome to a very special edition of the Educate.Elevate.podcast. I'm your host, Danny Morrison. Today we're diving into something truly groundbreaking. As you know, it's more important now than ever to be informed about the policies and initiatives adopted by our state, local, and national leaders. And one of the newest bills, signed by Governor Gavin Newsom in September, is Senate Bill 1348. This is a piece of legislation that directly impacts Black students here in California. Now let's talk about why this is a big deal. Imagine a world where you can look at a college or university and immediately know that they understand you, value you, and are unquestionably committed to your success in and out of the classroom. That's what the BSI designation requires of participating colleges. Whether through mentoring, financial aid, or making sure you have the resources you need to succeed in higher education, BSIs will be held to a higher standard when it comes to Black students. Well, this topic is so exciting and important that we had to open the conversation to more than just a couple guests. And once again, it's my pleasure to welcome back the man who will be guiding the conversation today, Dr. Abdimalik Buul. Dr. Buul serves as the Visiting Executive of Educational Excellence and Equal Employment Opportunity Programs at the California Community College's Chancellor's Office. He is also an award-winning professor and an innovative and dynamic leader who completed his doctorate in educational leadership at the University of Southern California. Dr. Buul, welcome.
Thank you, Danny. I'm really excited to be here today, and you're right. This is an important, exciting topic. The Black Serving Institution designation is a big step forward on many levels. This law requires accountability and actionable steps to ensure that Black students aren't just getting into college, but that they're thriving once they're there. We're talking about real, measurable change, and that's exciting. And it's more than just academic support. For our students, it's about affirming who you are, your culture, and your dreams. Institutions designated as Black serving will create environments where Black students feel a sense of belonging, cultural affirmation, and support. We're talking about more Black faculty, more programs designed with Black students in mind, and a real push to ensure that our Black students aren't just enrolling in our institutions, but are stepping into their futures with confidence. We have assembled a fantastic panel today to talk more about Senate Bill 1348 and its real impact on Black students and their community colleges across the state. Each panel member brings unique insight and powerful perspectives that you will find both inspirational and informative. So let me start by introducing each of our esteemed guests to you today. First, Dr. Luke Wood. Not only is Dr. Wood the president of Sacramento State University, but he's an innovative leader who became the youngest permanent president for a four-year public college or university in the nation. He was also appointed by the California State Senate to serve on the California Racial Equity Commission.
Hey.
Next, Dr. Tammeil Gilkerson, Chancellor of Peralta Community College District in the Bay Area, which includes Merritt College, Laney College, Berkeley College, and College of Alameda. Previously, she served as a college president and vice president of academic and student affairs, and was the first diversity, equity, inclusion, and innovation officer for the Contra Costa Community College District, and is the swaggiest chancellor in the game, no doubt. Next, Pam Haynes, a member of the California Community College Board of Governors. She has more than 20 years of experience guiding and serving higher education institutions.
Okay, can we stop? It's more than 25 years of service. I want my 5 years.
And finally, we have Joya Miller. Joya is a biology student at Mount San Jacinto College who plans on transferring to a four-year university to double major in biochemistry and neurology. She's also a proud Army veteran, wife, and mother. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. So we'll start with you, Dr. Wood. What was the primary motivation behind the creation of the Black Serving Institution designation, also referred to as the BSI?
Yes. So Senator Bradford is the creator of the BSI designation, along with the principal co-author, Senator Angelique Ashby. And essentially, what it was originally was called the Seal of Excellence in Serving Black and African American Students in Post-Secondary Education, but was later, throughout the legislative process, changed to a designation for Black serving institutions. So it was a way of trying to honor the fact that we have to do more to serve Black students in the state of California, but particularly in post-secondary education. And so it was creating a designation that honors institutions that not only enroll high numbers of Black students, but also are adequately serving them.
So to that point, are all public higher education institutions eligible for this designation?
So in California, so it's a state-based designation, and it was signed into law by Governor Newsom. And any community college, independent college or university, Cal State or UC is eligible to apply for it. You have to have at least 10% of your students or at least 1,500 head count who identify as Black or African American. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is you have to be meaningfully serving them. And there's a whole range of criteria that's associated with that. You have to have a mission statement that focuses on serving Black and African American students. Your strategic plan has to have specific items about how you're serving Black and African American students. You have to have a plan for academic support and for basic needs. You have to have a way in which you're going to be training and preparing your faculty and staff to better serve Black students. And most importantly, we have to show how you're going to resource those efforts. So this isn't just a one-time deal, but an ongoing effort to elevate and to adequately serve your Black students.
Absolutely. So Dr. Lukewood, Dr. Gilkerson laid out some of the parameters of the 1,500 students, the 10% population. Can you tell us what California community colleges are doing to prepare themselves to become BSIs?
Yeah, I think I should just put some context. I want to just say, like, the Peralta colleges, certainly Merritt College, the home of the Black Panthers, Laney College in the heart of Oakland, Berkeley City College and College of Alameda. We serve 19% of our student population are Black and African American identified students. Each of our colleges would meet the designation. We already have programs that serve and support. So we have been in the business of serving this for quite a long time without sort of, again, the recognition, but knowing that what we do in our community. But colleges now across, the state are working on those strategic plans, thinking about intentionality. How do we shore up and begin to have these conversations? How do we think intentionally about those cross sections between basic need support and actually belongingness on campus? And what does that look like? And really, hopefully, hearing from students directly about what that is. What are the pain points for students? And so that's what we're hoping, that all of it's galvanizing us all to do that and to be very, very proud. California community colleges serve 75% of Black and African American identified students in the state. Undergraduates, I just want to say that again, California Community College serve this many. We are feeders to the Honors College at, Sacramento State. We are feeders to most of UC and CSU. And so, the work that we do here really sets the foundation for, moving on to baccalaureate degrees and, post-baccalaureate success.
Absolutely. I want to go to you, Trustee Pam Haynes. As they say, you're not new to this, you're true to this. You've been in this game and in the system for quite some time, 25 plus years. What challenges do you see Black students facing in higher education? How can the Black student serving institution designation change that?
So it's an intentional designation. It's going to and should mean something. And what it means, I think from a college perspective, is we're putting our name on this and saying we care. And we're going to do something not just the same, but something different. Now, there are a few colleges that are going to be able to move forward. They're going to be able to continue their work. But that intentionality means action, not just from leadership, but from faculty, from classified, to begin to change how it interfaces with our students. And that part about belonging is critically important. Our students are part-time students, they're parents, they have jobs. And so what it means is recognizing all of that and affirming that in every class that they take. It also means recurating that curriculum in a way that is receptive to the students in the colleges.
And to that point, I'm gonna go to you, Joya. As a mother, as a student, as Trustee Haynes mentioned, what is the importance of this Black Serving Institution designation for you?
So she mentioned belongingness, and I think you did too as well. Belongingness is such a huge thing when you're talking about being a student, especially in the community college system. And I think that if we do more as far as representation and even having that BSI designation, more Black students would feel comfortable to come into the community college system and do that education there first before they move on to their four-year university.
It's vital. It's essential. You know, our students are why. We talked about the what, the when, the how here, all the technicalities. But can you tell us a little bit about your story, Joya, and how you ended up in the California Community College system?
Okay, so when I graduated high school, it was in 2009, actually. And I went to Southern University in Louisiana. I didn't fare very well there. Not that my grades were bad or anything, but I was going through a lot at home, so I was unable to pay for college. So I switched to Florida State Community College, which is also Black serving, but they were lacking in empathy, and I just don't thrive in that kind of environment. So I ended up going to the Army. I served for around 5 years, and then I got out of the Army, lost a few years of my life to PTSD and things of that nature. And I decided after having my son, I don't want this for him. I don't want him to have to grow up and wonder what's next. I want him to see his mother and his father doing all of these wonderful things and making all of these big moves. And I want him to know that no matter what the color of his skin is, the sky is the limit for him. And so I decided, I'm gonna go into medicine. I enrolled at Mount San Jacinto College, and here I am today.
Yeah, you know, the other thing that I think is important to note is we do have a lot of students right now in California who leave California to go to an HBCU, right? It is not uncommon. But we also have a lot of students in California who simply can't. They're place-bound. They may have family commitments that don't allow for them to leave. They may have work commitments that don't allow for them to leave. And it would be a shame for us to say to them, because you have those background characteristics, that there's no institution in this state that's going to serve you. So now it immediately goes from there being zero to there being a slew of institutions that are Black serving and will be proudly Black serving institutions. I know with every bone in my body that the students are there and they want this. They want to be able to know that there's an institution that's designed to serve them. And what this legislation does is it takes those institutions within our respective systems that are doing this work and it pedestals them, but in a way that's important, because I think that we also have to recognize that not every institution should be serving Black students because they don't do a good job.
Absolutely.
So let's just keep it real. That part of what this designation does is separates the wheat from the chaff, right? And so in this case, I think what it does is it separates those institutions who are doing the good work to send a signal, this is where you should go.
So to that point, Dr. Gilkerson, what can institutions do more to reduce these obligations, I'm not call equity gaps, these obligation gaps, and be more intentional around some of the programming and resourcing from your perspective?
Yeah, so I'm going to take it from a wide lens institutional level, because I think the designation just helps galvanize the institution as well. But as a leader of that, working with the Board of Trustees and the 72 districts in our California Community College system, we need to have benchmarks and things that we're trying to achieve, right? Roadmaps. We have like the Umoja principles that are for every learner, right? That we really can see. But I think from a large scale thing, we need to think about the fact that, right, recognition that disparities start at birth, right? And that the fact that this legislation was born out of reparations work is a really important thing that we should not lose, right? And that students should see and know this, and we shouldn't be afraid to talk about how important that interconnection is, right? And so I see on my campuses, if I stood on Laney College's campus, it's not the typical, high school student that's coming through. This is adult learners who are coming in. These are community members who are willing to stay despite gentrification in Oakland because this is their home, right? They want to be here. This is folks from realignment who are coming back from the carceral state and actually saying, I have dreams and I have opportunity and I've had them deferred by a system that has just been born against me, I want to come to a place that's going to do this. And we can see those generational things. And so California as a whole, while I'm so proud of the designation, I just got to say again, just on behalf of my California community colleges, right? Again, we serve this many learners, 75%, right, of Black and African-American identified learners are in California community colleges, yet we're funded at $13,000 per FTS, for full-time equivalent student, and compared to about $22,000 per full-time equivalent student for the California State Universities and $35,000 per full-time equivalent student, right? And so the designation, while I'm excited about it, is also because we've already been Black serving in my colleges, right? So there are other things that we need to do in addition to the designation that are going to help galvanize and move, right, this state and the nation forward and pay homage, make sure that Black excellence has really been able to be seeded and done.
Absolutely. Trustee Haynes, I'm going to come to you. Dr. Gilkerson laid out the macro level, systemic and systematic challenges that Black students and Californians face on a daily basis. Can you take us to the micro level, the granular level? What do we need to do to become more intentional in the classroom, in the curriculum, in the pedagogy? How are we supposed to assess some of these metrics? We talked a little bit about that. Can you expand on that?
So as I've been listening to this conversation, it actually goes back to the classroom. I mean, if we're going to be really, really honest. And so in being honest, we absolutely need our faculty to buy in by hook or crook. When we look at the department level and the faculty level, there are successful faculty that are making certain that our Black students are getting through their classes. And it may well be because they have learned how to teach and they're intentional about their curriculum to make it relevant. And our course success rates and our completion rates are impacted by that. And I would add, our students are not empty vessels.
Yes.
They're not. They have a lot to offer if asked, and sometimes encouraged to share their own experiences. And I would also say that faculty have an opportunity to build relationships that are honest about their own lived experiences as well. It is a two-way street.
And Joya talked about that. The self-efficacy and self-esteem of our students impacts their graduation rates, their transfer rates, their success rates. So what does that mean to all of you, and I'll go to you, Joya, first, to have BSIs have more representation and more resources that center your experience?
So it means so much. I'm unapologetically myself. And when I had a professor, my psychology professor at Mount San Jacinto College, she was from New York and I'm from the East Coast. But more importantly, she was a Black woman. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, sign me up. I'm going to her class. And it was such a great experience to feel seen and heard in that course. And she understood me and I was able to talk to her. So having that representation means so much. And like Pam said, it starts in the classroom. We need professors and faculty members that can understand where students are coming from and where they've been. We need to cut the code switching. There's no need for that, especially in a school setting. If you're a student, you should be able to be yourself. And students don't feel that way when they don't have faculty members that represent their background.
Representation matters, absolutely. As California goes, the nation goes. And we're the fourth largest economy in the world. How do we make this movement? I'll go to you, Dr. Wood, and back to you, Pam Haynes, on this one. Federal, not just local at the state level, but how do we make this federal?
Yeah, I would say that there was, from my perspective as one of the people who was involved in this, and there was many others, it was never the goal that this was only going to be a state level designation at the final step, right? The first step was a state level designation. So if you lay out a map of the United States with where the HBCUs are, and then you lay out a map of the United States with where the predominantly Black institutions are, they occupy the same states, right? And so when you look at the states that aren't covered, it's physically more than half of the country, right? And California, obviously, we have a massive population. And so what we had in mind is that California would go first, and then it would be an opportunity for all those other states who are in the Western United States and Midwestern United States to be able to do something also at a state level. And then to advocate at the federal level for a BSI designation that would be focused on this same kind of criteria, again, that focuses on enrollment, but also on servingness and putting those two things together. And I think that that's now more important than ever before, because if you think about what's happening in many of the regions in the country where those institutions, our HBCUs and PBIs are located, they're under fire. And it's an uncomfortable position if you're a student of color and you care about being a student of color if you're in those states right now. So I feel like what this BSI designation does is, and I always say that to people that Sacramento State is the North Star of the West, right? Now, every single institution, if it becomes a BSI, is now going to be another star. And so you're going to have all these bright lights in the West with all this darkness that's happening throughout the rest of the country. And I think it serves as a guide for students to know where they can go. And so that's why I think this is so important.
Absolutely.
Because I think what's so amazing about the California community colleges is everybody is welcome. Everybody is admitted. We meet you where you are. We allow students to see themselves here. And so having the Black serving designation is about the institution saying, we absolutely want to invite you in, and we want to say that we're going to try really hard to meet your really diverse needs. But I think what students can really find at the college is not only curriculum that talks about their culture and like history and allows them to see themselves in different veins, and has faculty and instruction and opportunities and support services in small communities and large communities that do much of what Sac State is doing and, you know, has been doing and is building forward. We've been doing a lot of those things, but I think what I love about it is Joya's story herself, right? You can come on any path. You can have been here and gone to the next place. You have stopped out and said, I need to take a break. And then you can decide that you want for your family or for yourself something, and you can come in at any place you are, and you can become a student leader. You can start a club. And that's the creativity that I see in the students who are here. And I see it in every single student that I'm talking to. They're like starting their own BSU, and they're actually designing the speakers that they want, and they're doing these things, and they're getting things on their resume so they can go off to work, or they can be an entrepreneur and start their own business. And so I think what's beautiful about what we do in the California community colleges is say, you can go on and go to that baccalaureate degree, but you also can go directly to work and be in advanced manufacturing, where it's the largest, we're the fourth largest in the world in advanced manufacturing in the world. Like, here are great career pathways for your families, and you can see yourself there doing that, and so I think that's what's exciting to me about it.
I really want to thank each of our panel members for the fantastic discussion we've had today. This discussion has been inspiring, and I'm convinced that our students' futures are bright because of conversations like these. Our Black students are used to carving their own paths, but it's powerful when systems begin to recognize and respond to their needs. This legislation ensures that colleges are not only talking about diversity, but are putting real plans in place to make sure we succeed. And here's what's exciting. California is leading the way. This model could set a national precedent, creating a roadmap for many other states to follow as well. So whether you're thinking about going to college soon or already started on your college path, know that SB 1348 is part of a movement that's pushing for change where it counts. It's a reminder that your success isn't just possible, it's essential. Danny, I feel like we're just getting started. We've got a lot more to discuss. I'll send it back to you for now, though, and I can't wait to continue this conversation next time.
Thank you, Dr. Bull, and thank you to each of our panel guests as well. Here's another live performance on the Educate.Elevate podcast. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Lauryn, and this is my wonderful guitarist, Isaiah. And I attend American River College, and we will be performing my original song, Hope, today. I am here today to tell you I am here to stay. My dreams, trying to change them to reality, but it's hard. But I got a little hope today. I said I I got a little hope today. I hope you got a little hope today. I got a little hope today. I said I got a little hope today. I said I got a little hope today. I got a little hope today. I got a little hope today.
As Dr. Bull alluded to, we can't contain today's conversation to just one episode. So join us next time as we dive even deeper into the impact that the Black Serving Institution designation will have on Black students now and for years to come. And if today's conversation has inspired you to chase your dreams through higher education and helped you realize that you don't have to chase these dreams alone, you need to check out ICanGoToCollege.com. From there, click on Black and African American student success. You'll get a ton of great info about on-campus communities like Umoja, Amend, and Black student unions, as well as financial aid opportunities, transfer opportunities to CSUs, UCs, HBCU, and other four-year institutions, and more. That's ICanGoToCollege.com. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, when you know where to start, nothing is impossible, because to educate is to elevate.
We are the